Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. We're going to talk World Championship Wrestling. And Rodney, go ahead and take it over.
All right, it's November the 23rd, 1985. We are days away from Starrcade 85. To me, I think the best of the Starrcades. The hot open from last week was when the Andersons, Ric Flair, and Tully Blanchard tried to step in the ring against Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA when the Road Warriors come in. Of course, that went off the air. And, of course, the opening starts with Tony Schiavone, David Crockett. Today on the program, Manny Fernandez will face Buddy Landel. And we again start talking about the Bunkhouse Stampede. Right off the bat, it's Superstar Billy Graham, one of my favorite interviews he's ever done. Billy Graham's talking about Starrcade. He's talking about the Barbarian, talking about the $10,000 arm wrestling contest. He says that when he gets started in the match, the first thing he's going to do is kick him in the groin. Then he's going to poke him in the eye, and then he lets the pythons take over from there. Just awesome. And me and Britt use that forever. You know what the first thing I'm going to do to you? I'm going to kick you in your groin. We used that forever. It was awesome. And match number one is the National Heavyweight Champion Terry Taylor against the Black Cat, who's Gerald Finley. And, of course, it's Terry Taylor winning with the superplex over the Black Cat. Tony and David then talks about the history between Dusty and Ric Flair. Talks about the Andersons' injury. They go back and they recap last week's six-man tag team match as Ric Flair tripped up Prez Whatley, causing the loss to Whatley. Causing Whatley to lose in the six-man tag team match against Arn Ole and Ric Flair. Then they recap the incident inside the cage in the Omni where the Andersons held Dusty as Ric Flair came off the rope and broke his ankle. And of course, leads up to all the Starrcade matchup. In the big interview with Dusty, Ric Flair, and Bill Apter, just awesome stuff. And then, of course, they re-show the match where Dusty returns to face Mike Davis in the Omni. It was just awesome. And, of course, then they had to run down to Starrcade 85, the spot that we saw over and over again. It was truly awesome. Then we have the interview with David Crockett and Dusty Rhodes. Of course, he's talking about the Starrcade, talking about the World Heavyweight Championship, and does the interview with the demon in the boot. If I have a demon in my boot, Ric Flair, you put it there. That's what he said. Match number two is Don Kernoodle against Don Turner. It's the cannon off the top rope. It's Don Kernoodle winning that one. Match number three, the Barbarian with Paul Jones against Stony Burke. It's off the top rope headbutt. Barbarian winning that one. Interview with Ric Flair, and he's talking about his upcoming match with Dusty Rhodes and Starrcade. It takes him a while to get there, and maybe that's the reason he keeps screaming at him, "Don't wrap me up," because he's not really talking about what he's supposed to be. Kind of telling us the same story he's said over and over again. You'd think he would talk about Starrcade for 2 minutes, but maybe not. Match number four is Billy Graham, the superstar, against Tony Zane. Graham winning with the backbreaker. Of course, he was using the full Nelson. All of a sudden, now he's using the backbreaker. Match number five, Manny Fernandez against Buddy Landel. That match ends in a time limit draw. I believe Manny was bleeding through that, and if you'll notice that TBS was not doing any close-up shots of Manny Fernandez during that match. Again, a time limit draw between Manny Fernandez and Buddy Landel. Interview with Terry Taylor, and of course, he's talking about his big match coming up at Starrcade with Buddy Landel, and he talks about James J. Dillon as well. Interview with Jim Crockett, and next week on the Championship Series, it's going to be Thunderfoot and Black Bart, managed by James J. Dillon, against Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors, with Paul Ellering. Interview again with Ric Flair. This time he talks about Starrcade. He talks about Dusty. Match number six is Black Bart against Rocky King. Of course, Black Bart winning that one with the Texas Compactor leg drop off the second rope. Interview with Ron Bass. Again, Bass is on fire. He has been on fire for the last 2 weeks, talking about his upcoming match at Starrcade. Some of the best stuff that I think Bass has done. Really into the situation. And, of course, he's talking about the bull rope match with Black Bart and the 5-minute bull rope match with James J. Dillon if he wins at Starrcade. Interview with the Road Warriors, which I believe came from last week. Talks about Animal, talks about Ric Flair, talks about Nikita Koloff and the Andersons, and Hawk talks about the Andersons, Flair, and talks in the end talks about the Russians, Ivan and Nikita Koloff. Match number 7, Jim Jeffers against Billy Jack Haynes. It's Haynes winning with the, if I can spit it out, Haynes is winning with the full Nelson. Then Billy Jack is doing an interview. He talks about Starrcade. He talks about Ole and Arn Anderson and, of course, his tag team partner, Wahoo McDaniels. for the Starrcade match coming up. Short montage of matches with the Russians, Ivan Nikita Koloff, Crusher Khrushchev, and of course, Crusher Khrushchev will face Sam Houston for the Mid-Atlantic Championship coming up Starrcade. Match number 8 is the 6-man tag match. Ron Baz, Pistol Paz Watley, and the Italian Stallion against Carl Styles, Kent Glover, and Larry Clark. And Larry Watley wins it with a flying headbutt on Carl Styles. Of course, the winners of that was Ron Bass, Pez Watley, and Italian Stallion. Interview with Denny Brown, the World Junior Champion, and you kind of wonder why. Yeah. Kind of like parsley on the plate, just kind of there. Match number 9 was Sam Houston against
wait
the Golden
wait a minute.
Terror.
I gotta do my Denny Brown impression. Okay, I just wanted to do that. All right, we'll get back to you, Rodney.
Well, it's not much left. Sam Houston against the Golden Terror. The Golden Terror wins by count out when Ric Flair, who is at the desk, decides that he wants to, as Sam Houston is knocked towards the apron, he reaches, grabs a hold of Sam Houston and is suplex on the floor, and of course results in a count out. The Golden Terror finally wins one on World Championship Wrestling, and that closes the show for the November the 23rd, 1985, and we are ready for Starrcade.
Starrcade 85, The Gathering. Only one time, Roger Kent. Only one time.
I thought he did an awesome job. He must have charged him too much.
He must have. It was a good show for what it was. It was getting ready for Starrcade.
It was amazing. It was amazing that they talked about the Superdome and doing Starrcade. I thought was a horrendous mistake on Bill Watts' part because it made his show look small compared to Starrcade. It really did. It would have been something if he was going to work with them, say, I could have the return match, one of the return matches, which were the Russians or the Rock and Roll Express or whatever, and maybe have the Superdome the next day. But to have basically Starrcade headline your show at the Superdome was not a good idea at all.
No, it was a good show though. Jack, what did you think about the show?
I thought it was, like I say, it served its purpose.
It was just getting ready for Starrcade, and that was which, by the way, one of our supporters, he had to tell me, and I'll have to share this. Michael Barr wanted people to know, bring your impression or not much your impression.
Actually, Michael, that was a spot-on impression.
Denny Brown. I still to this moment wondered why he was there. Apparently, they of course they do other shows on that Sunday as well. They did the championship wrestling thing as well in the morning, so he might have wrestled or they might do it afterwards. I'm not sure, but you kind of wonder, why were you on there?
Hey, he. Let me ask you this question. He was Denny Brown. He wasn't any kin to Bob Brown, was he?
No, Bob had personality.
That was when I saw him, and I'm thinking, he started talking, and I decided I'm going to fast forward through this. I'm the world junior champion. I'm going to talk about everybody else. I would be saying, why am I not on Starrcade?
Yep.
I'm the world junior champion. Why am I not on Starrcade?
Well, I'm asking that same question. Why am I not on WrestleMania? Oh, wait a minute. I know why I don't work there. That's the reason I'm not. I figured it out now why I'm not on WrestleMania. All right, folks, if you enjoyed this video, give us the big thumbs up. Subscribe to the page if you haven't done already. And by the way, the big thumbs up shows us you care. Sometimes we get a thumbs down. We get
I'm wondering if Billy Jack Haynes actually knew what he was talking about during that show.
I don't know. I watched that interview, and
at any time that Billy Jack knew what he was talking
about. I have no idea what he was talking about either.
Oh, I know what we were doing. If you enjoyed this, give us the big thumbs up. Hit that notification bell. And go one step further, hit that share button and share the video. And until the next time when we talk about World Championship Wrestling, once again, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.
I know everybody was wanting to see Terry Taylor. That was a huge match. People lining up. Apparently, the concessions were going to sell very well during that match.
By the way, folks, you think this is going to be took out, but it's not. We'll see you on the next video.